You are welcome to yet another episode of HN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. Many until today still wonder how Azriel Clary, who was standing firm with R. Kelly, managed to cross over to the government side, and quickly become their principal witness to carry the responsibility of causing the deepest damage to R. Kelly's legal position, and to cause him the longest stay possible in prison. We had earlier seen Azriel appear on the famous Gayle King interview, where she exposed her own parents for their hypocritical conduct that intended to blackmail and extort the R&B King. It's not common that a woman falsely accuses her parents with such sinister allegations as these with no truth in it. Common sense applied, Azriel would more easily choose to lie on R. Kelly than she would on her own parents. And besides, we all know well that most parents to the accusers had actually handed their daughters to R. Kelly voluntarily, and that they were technically benefiting financially. It wasn't until R. Kelly's money was depleted that they opted for blackmail and lawsuits. It is important to note that aside Azriel Clary, the government was out of a convincing witness to send R. Kelly right where they wanted him. In the case of Azriel Clary, for example, the Mann Act violation claims were going to be left with only Faith Rogers, who does not generate much social attention to the case, considering she met R. Kelly when she was already an adult woman way in her 20s. She in fact did confess in court that she is not a victim of R. Kelly, even though she was testifying against him as one. In fact, her testimony has many countering stories, such as the one by her close friend who says she already had an STD but wanted to blame it on R. Kelly for financial gain. Considering many other witnesses apart from Faith Rogers were perpetual liars and bound to be challenged in court, the government therefore needed Azriel Clary, who could easily appeal to the public as an innocent victim, for their principal witness if they were going to succeed in destroying the R&B King. With a pricey tag on her as a potential witness, Azriel Clary made her demands, and these were always final. She needed the lion's share of the restitutions in hundreds of thousands of dollars, and a guarantee that she would receive this money with or without a conviction. It's no wonder that even with the text message evidence to show that her own mother was texting R. Kelly on her behalf and making suggestions to him, and in addition coaching her own daughter, who she claims was underage, on how to get R. Kelly in bed with her and pretending that she was an adult, the Brooklyn federal judge Donnelly still managed to find R. Kelly guilty and ignored everything else. The government needed guilty verdicts against R. Kelly, most especially on Azriel's charges, and so did the federal judge, because they knew that without her compensation, she could easily spill the beans and cause both institutions big-time trouble. During the recent New York appeal hearing, we came to learn that Azriel was in fact not entitled to receive restitutions, considering the public health laws that would call for her to be compensated were repealed and are no more in action. However, the speed at which the Brooklyn federal judge Donnelly was processing her payment left many wondering what she had to gain from this exercise. She couldn't even wait for R. Kelly's Chicago trial to commence before forcefully taking money out his commissary and leaving it dry, all in the name of availing undeserved restitutions to the likes of Azriel. The appeal judge, however, did identify the legal mistake that saw Azriel given a whooping $300,000 all for nothing, and raised it at the floor of the U.S. Court of Appeals, demanding to know whether the state attorney understood the implication this may have on the case.
I'd like to ask about restitution.
Yes.
And about, it seemed to me that the record was weak, that Kelly infected Jane and the second young woman with herpes in states where the exposure was illegal. And I wondered if what the government's position is on that. If Kelly gave Jane herpes in a state where the exposure was legal, someplace other than New York or California, do you agree that she would not be entitled to restitution?
Well,
Thinking about this matter critically will leave many wondering how a simple accuser who was initially for R. Kelly, but that was turned into a government witness through a major act of witness tampering, would quickly rise to principal government witness, and be granted such restitutions that exceeded all the others combined, only to later find out that she wasn't even supposed to receive a penny. There is clearly no way all this could have happened to see the government together with the district federal judge make such huge legal mistakes in series without being held ransom by Azriel Clary, an accuser who clearly had the power to make or break their case against R. Kelly, and who still has so much information against the government and the DOJ that could easily destroy everything they have worked for. According to Maurice Hunter, this is in fact very true. It's no wonder the government and DOJ were not in a rush to try R. Kelly and waited years to do this. They were busy collecting information from R. Kelly's prison communications which they could use to win over Azriel Clary, and once they had it, they needed to strike a deal with her from which she was meant to be the biggest beneficiary among the long list of accusers. Thanks to the FBI report which exposed the BOP scandal of leaking information to Tasha K., we would never have known that the Azriel Clary witness status was another game by government against the defense and nothing serious. It's however disappointing to be learning just now that R. Kelly's commissary was emptied for no good reason. This, according to case observers, was daytime robbery, and according to attorney Jennifer Bonjean was illegal considering R. Kelly had not told court that he had no money to settle the ordered restitutions. According to Kalisha, I did get shocked to hear the appeal judge make mention that in fact the hundreds of thousands of dollars that were paid to Azriel Clary were remitted in error. So much money given to one person, and it turns out to have been a huge legal mistake. We can be sure that R. Kelly is winning so much from this appeal process now that the appeal judges can see the illegalities by government and its DOJ counterparts. For her love for money, I cannot say I doubt that Azriel could have in fact held the government and judge at ransom. Remember, there is an allegation that she and her father Angelo did plan out a robbery at R. Kelly's apartment using the prison communications they illegally accessed as a guide. Such individuals will do anything to get a hold of the dollars and restitutions. If this is in fact the case, R. Kelly deserves to be acquitted immediately and sentences with restitution reversed. If you wish to take part in a live interview on this channel discussing any of these topics, let us know by emailing us on sashahnnewsroom@gmail.com for scheduling. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say. To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications. And feel free to share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and let us know if you would like us to publish your views in our next release. We value all our subscribers' opinions.